Strong winds, high waves, and thousands of tons of force. All of these are not enough to sink a container ship. Let's take a look at the Marine Maersk. This is a triple E-class container ship, and a total of 31 of them have been built worldwide. The ship you see right now is registered at the Hellerup port in Denmark. This giant container ship is operated by a Danish shipping company. Each of the 31 ships was sold for $190 million. It has a length of 400 meters, a width of 59 meters, and a height of 73 meters. The 3E scale in the class stands for economy, ecology, and energy efficiency. When standing on the deck of the ship, you would be about 61 meters above the water surface. If you were to put all these containers on a train, the train would be 112 meters long. When the ship operates at full capacity, it carries about 250,000 tons. Most of this weight comes from the containers because the ship itself weighs only 63,000 tons. Ironically, container ships don't have decks large enough to load thousands of containers. Marine Maersk can accommodate 24 columns of containers. Each of these columns is 23 containers wide. Due to the depth of the ship, 21 containers can be stacked on top of each other in each column. Let's take a look inside the container ship, 10 meters below sea level. Workers need to descend steep metal stairs to reach the bottom of the ship. This is the part of the ship that cannot be seen from above. These ships are so huge that entering them feels like entering another world. In fact, this has led to the crew avoiding superstitions and avoiding being alone below deck. There is a reinforced metal edge called the twist box surrounding the entire ship. It reinforces the structural integrity of this giant cargo ship and is so large that it has been converted into a walking corridor for the crew. Speaking of the crew, contrary to what you might think, operating these giant container ships doesn't require a lot of people. A crew of 25 is sufficient for most. These crew members are mostly confined to the bridge and rarely venture into the ship's hull where all the containers are. The bridge is very small, covering only 1/6 of the ship's upper surface. The rest of the area is allocated to large containers. Occasionally, some ships have their own cranes for loading and unloading containers. However, most ships use cranes at the destination port for loading operations. The crew works in 4-hour shifts on the ship. These shifts can happen at any time of the day because ships always need to have active personnel on duty. Most of the crew's duties involve operating and maintaining machinery, cooking, and cleaning the bridge. Unlike aircraft carriers, which have 2 or 3 kitchens for all crew members, container ships have smaller kitchens and a compact mess deck. The crew's job is tough, and their schedules are extremely busy. There is very little time for leisure, looking out at the ocean, or enjoying the sun. Since cargo missions are long, these sailors are on duty for 3 to 6 months. During this time, they can't see any of their family members and can't have much fun in the cities they dock at. Container ships load and unload cargo within just 24 to 48 hours, and sailors return without really getting to enjoy city life. Most cargo ship workers earn a 6-figure salary and spend half of the year at home. These cargo ships carry millions of dollars worth of goods in containers. If the ship sinks, all that potential profit could be lost at the bottom of the sea. Because containers carry various materials and products, fires on ships are not uncommon. The fire spreads rapidly and burns the goods stored inside the containers. Furthermore, cargo ships need to protect themselves against pirate attacks. Piracy remains a problem for the global maritime industry, with pirates often operating small and fast ships, boarding the cargo ship, and hijacking the captain and crew. Therefore, most container ships have defense mechanisms such as water cannons that create a barrier around the ship with the push of a button. If pirates persist, captains will use firearms to repel the attackers. Recently, a new addition to cargo ships called a pirate deterrent curtain has been developed by Japanese engineers. It consists of 2 thin rubber hoses with a heavy cannon at the end. When high-pressure water is sprayed, the hoses turn into whips. Overcoming such a thing is almost impossible. Container ships with small crews can easily be overpowered by a group of a few pirates. Larger ships, like those from Marine Maersk, have crews of up to 35 people, but this is still a small number compared to other ships. Speaking of larger ships, how big can a container ship get? According to Christon Agrea, the architect who builds Maersk ships, ships can be as big or small as you want. The issue is not building bigger ships, but ensuring that these ships can fit into canals, ports, and narrow passages. If the ship you're building can't navigate through these, it's useless. Therefore, while ships can theoretically be much larger, their sizes are practically limited by available infrastructure. So does this mean that Maersk is the world's largest ship? No, there are contenders pushing the boundaries to build the world's largest ship. The top 5 largest ships in the world are: Number 1 is the Ever Ace, operated by Evergreen, a Taiwanese company. The ship is 400 meters long and 61.5 meters wide and can carry a maximum of 23,992 containers. Second is the Ever Given, also operated by Evergreen and the same size as the Ever Ace. Unlike the Ever Ace, it has a different gross tonnage and can carry 24,004 containers. Number 3 is the MSC Tessa, a ship operated by the Swedish shipping company MSC, which is the same size as the previous 2 ships, but can carry 24,116 containers. Fourth is the OOCL Spain, owned by the Hong Kong-based OOCL and operated by OOCL. It is 400 meters long and 60 meters wide and can carry a maximum of 24,088 containers. Fifth is the MSC Maya, operated by MSC, with a gross tonnage of 233,328 tons. It is the largest ship in the world and can carry a maximum of 24,346 containers. Securing the containers is crucial. Shipping companies can't stack containers haphazardly and leave it to chance. Workers need to secure the containers with twist locks from below and then lash them together with lashings. If the locks are insufficient, the crew will use lashings and bars to secure the containers. Due to its size, the ship cannot dock at the nearest port upon arrival. Docking a ship is a complex process that requires the assistance of a pilot. The pilot will meet the container ship inside a much smaller pilot vessel. The pilot's job is to help the ship navigate safely in the port. The pilot will then call for tugboats to bring the ship to its exact position. Turning a container ship is extremely difficult due to its size, so tugboats facilitate this process. The ship is then moored to the dock with mooring ropes. Then, giant cranes load the cargo within 48 hours, and the ship sets off on its delivery mission. We have come to the end of the video. See you in another video. Bye now.